of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
Guys, peace and blessed be then about your presence. We're going to continue on in part 2 of our show on an A.H.A.D moment. So as I was saying, you know, Ahezaah is the greater number on the other side, Adam. Adam, on the other side. Yeah. On the other side. That's a woman you were sitting next to. We can't have that. We still try to do the right thing. And that's to keep our women away from our men. Keep our men away from our women until they're right to be together. You know, keep our eyes off of one another. Only one around here who has permission to look a woman in the eyes among the men is me. Mama ain't here, is she? Y'all better not tell. But we gotta keep one another protected, one another safe, you know. And Ahezaah got me strapped down, so don't worry. I look at your wife, and I've been looking at your wife longer than you. That's because she's my niece. So, you know, as I was saying, and may I use peace and blessed be then about your presence. And as I was saying, people don't want truth in their life. They want Allah to play games with them. You know? Just like they say, claim it and it's yours. Come on, where did that come from? Where can you find that in any holy book from any holy prophet from all time and on any other covenants that all you got to do is claim something and it's yours? Where did the ministers get that saying from? It didn't come from Muhammad. It didn't come from Adam. It didn't come from Israel. It didn't come from Moses. It didn't come from Muhammad or Jesus or any of his disciples. Where did it come from?
Baphomet.
Whoever that is. Came from the devil. It came from the Antichrist. It's part of this great teaching to divert you from the path of the way of truth. The whole language, the whole educational system is geared towards diverting you away from the truth. Why is it that Muslims are so eager to put a hurt on me before they put a help to me? Before they investigate for themselves, to help themselves, to see this clear truth that I'm speaking over the past 30 years. Come on now, 30 years is a long time. Been in this vicinity. That's a long time. That gives everybody enough time to investigate. Some of you aren't even 30 years old. I've been out here doing this before you was in the seat of your father's loins. You know? And we still got the same thing going on. Because people want to be gods. The devil then led them to think that they can be lords. They could be the God of their home. The God of their world. And all they got to do is claim what they want. I say that those people running around here talking about, I'm blessed, and all that stuff, and claim it, and it's yours, I say they're hypocrites and liars. I say they're hypocrites and liars, because if it was that easy, I myself would have a big mansion paved in gold somewhere. Some done up in some beautiful art, because I love art. I'd have a house that looked like the Taj Mahal. Why? Because I can claim it. And it's mine. So we know that's a lie. We know that's falsehood. But the devil has risen as Allah said it would in these last days and time. Allah has given it permission to throw its army at us. And that's what they're doing. Just because people are painting up different pictures about what's going on in this economy, don't think that this world ain't being brought down. See, we sit up and we get local news. And then we get world news. And world news isn't much more than local news now. You're going to tell me that world news can be repeated over and over? It ain't that much news in the world going on that they can repeat it over and over all through the day. The same world news. They're telling you what they want you to know, and that is it. We don't know what's going on in the world, but somebody do. The jinn do know what's going on in the world. And they know that they're keeping it away from us. They're kind of like, sheep herding the people. Move us here, move us there, move us here, move us there. Right now, this guy Conan, the night show host, is having it out with Newark Mayor Booker. They're going back and forth, whatever. And some people were sitting back saying, yeah, get Booker, get him. And some are saying, man, Booker, get him. Don't let him get you. They going back and forth. All that is the jinn supporting Booker, putting Booker in the media, making Booker bigger so Booker, can do what he needs to do for his backers. Putting them in the limelight. Raising Newark up, because we did say back in the 90s, 1995, or whenever Allah first gave it to me, that they would be taking over Newark. The Jews would be taking over Newark, and Booker is one of the Jews. He's hidden. He's their front man. The government chose this city because Nostradamus chose this city. And they dropped, I think it was $25 billion on this city a long time ago, back in the 80s, 83, in the secret meeting. They chose it out of 5 cities in the United States of America. Why do I know? Because I was at that meeting. Allah put me in many situations. I was at that meeting. I was a spook that sat by the door, protecting this information from others' ears. See what Allah does? Put the messenger by the door. They didn't even know I was the messenger then. Thought I was a good old state cop. Didn't know me. Still don't know me. Well, let me say they do know me now, because they told people to sit down from the state, keep them out of City Hall. I'm not trying to get in City Hall. I was doing my wife a favor. I'm not trying to get into politics. I'm not trying to equate myself with the politicians. I'm not trying to bring myself down to the level of the mayor, down to the level of the president. Come on. I sit with Allah. And I'm not confused. Now, some other people who don't want to deal with truth may be confused. Who that nigga think he is? That nigga? I'm that nigga. And see, people like, how could he call himself a nigga? Do he know what nigga mean? Nigga to me is just another word now. Just like Islam and Allah to a lot of y'all is just another word. I can say Did you hear what he said? He just used Allah like it's nothing. Huh? Nigga's nothing to me. But we know what that nigga is, right? But the thing about it is, the truth of the matter is Allah is in charge of this. Ahezaah is in charge of this. It don't matter what has gone down. Ahezaah has allowed the path of the way to be corrupted by men. Allah sends down His commandments, and then it gives you choices. It gives you a life. Huh? Everybody want change, right? Everybody rushing in the world, right? Rushing. Want change. Want change this, want change that. Never satisfied with anything. Huh? Now let's look at this thing. Devil always want change. Always trying to bring about a change. Huh? Look at the car manufacturers that Allah has cursed in this country. Huh? They go from making basic cars to fancy cars. And every 2-3 years they change them fancy cars and make everybody want a new car. Huh? And they have mastered making a car last for a certain period of time. They got scientists that will investigate materials and say, well, this will last about these many years before it starts failing. Okay, I want that. Put that on my car, that on my car, that on my, we're going to sell this car. Now, after so many years, this is going to fail, that's going to fail, that's going to... They know what's going to fail. And they know that they're putting up these new cars every 3 or 4 years at the time when those is going to fail. And then they say, who is responsible for depleting Earth? Taking these materials out of Earth and mismanaging them. So that they can get your money. While the Lord itself is fixed. You can't change the Lord. You can't change the Creator. You can't change reality. Reality is. Everything about reality is. There ain't no such thing as change for reality. See, anything that can change means that there's an absence or there's an excess of something around it. See, you and I, we could change, we could grab this, we could grab that, because it's not a part of us. It's not a part of whatever we're doing. But the Lord itself is endless, and there's no place for it to change. Change to what? When it is everything. How you gonna change everything? Change it to what? There's nothing else for it to change to. So the wise man look at that and say, I want to be fixed in the Lord. I want to be fixed in the way of the Creator. I want wisdom, and I want to be maintained in that. While the fool, oh man, look at all the beautiful things that's going on. I want a part of everything. Huh? So the fool is never satisfied. No matter what you give them, they want to change. Huh? They want to change. Islam in this nation, people from the Nation of Islam and other communities, they figured something out. They wanted an army. So they needed a surplus of people. They said, how are we going to get our people? Okay, most of our people going to jail. So let's go get the people out of jail. And let's make them Muslims. So it became fashionable to become a Muslim while you're in jail. Save the hiney, because you got another gang, the Muslim gang, to protect you. Okay? You have brothers that worked hard at that. But the only thing, the thing where they failed is when Elijah was telling them to help these people, he was telling them to help these people, to educate these people. Not for himself, for the cause of Allah. But you got those who came behind him, chose to follow Elijah's way for themselves, not for Allah. I don't give a damn how much they call themselves the divine reminder, the Mujahid, or whatever. They did it for themselves, for the glory of their own selves. The proof is in the pudding. And then they give you words that's already been here that need to be explained, and they claim those words, and then people give them praise for coming to teach them something they could have learned somewhere else, something they needed to know, that the praise is due to Allah for whomever they got it, the information through, regardless. But how many people amongst our people, amongst the natives, I mean amongst the Afro-American people that's in Islam, are trying to actually get to truth, trying to actually get to Allah? See, we forget that truth is Allah. We forget that truth is Ra. Huh? And we forget that paradise, the para, is an elevation, multiples of the light, which we call heaven, and beyond. Multiples of the light of truth. We forgot what Jesus said about seeking the light of truth. And we seek ourselves. We seek our own power. We seek our own manhood. And it then got so bad that the devil has put such a dark shadow over religion that you could go to church if you clairvoyant, and you could see the darkness, the halos of death and evil in the churches and the masjids, the mosque synagogues, in the crowds of the so-called religious people. You see it clearly. And they favoring evil and don't even realize it. Whatever you partake of, you become accustomed to it, you become used to it, and that's what you want. Right? See, if you begin to believe in something, then you're going to trust in that. And you're going to put yourself in it. And then your mind is going to adjust to it. And it's going to adjust your body to it. And then you're going to accept it. And then you're going to think it's right. Until something comes and stop you. And you have to make a check. And say, wait a minute, this has been no good for me. Well, it's the same way with religion. It's the same way with the words that's on the path of the way. Muhammad made things clear about Islam coming to an end in this day and time. The path of his way. The people makes the path of his way. See, the path of the way of Allah is never, and that's endless, that's infinite. Because it makes it infinite. For us. But the people, in their mindsets, their ways of thinking, their ways of doing, that has put the crutch, the cross on Islam, just like it put the cross on what Moses brought to the Hebrews, which they call Christianity. And not only that, we speak about Christianity and Islam in this nation so much because those are basic religions here. But that goes for all the rest of them around the world. All the rest of the religions have fallen into the same traps. For man, history repeats itself. Allah put a simple phrase in the Holy Quran, in the book of Revelation. It said the stars will fall in this day and time. And people looking for that falling star, that comet that come and hit Earth. But Ahezaah said the stars Be a time when the stars will fall. For Ahezaah, you get this book that I'm coming out with. It'll tell you, explain how the stars is being, that was talked about as the stars in Hollywood. See, Ahezaah's prophecy in Revelation and the Quran and what have you, it's about earth. It's about man. It's about the now. Whatever the now is. But people always want to point things away from what the now is until something seriously happens. But us as a people, and our little slow minds who think that we're moving on up as a people in these United States of America, the people whom Allah has chosen over all the people of earth, the African Americans who reject the law more than anybody, have been turned to thinking that they have made it. The devil has successfully grabbed the minds of our people. The last pull was to pull us into the presidency. And they got a man in there that do not think like us, a woman, the first lady, do not think like the Afro-American people. But we think they do because we've been taught to think that they do. We've been taught to think that people like Oprah think like us, a woman who has come to destroy the black man. And we have accepted it. And we bow down to money. Oh, she's a millionairess. So we bow down as a people to her. Like that's success. But all these people are beneath the angels. And they're beneath the law. And they still have to answer. This world still belongs to the truth. And all those of falsehood must face the truth at the end of their run. You might not be there to see it, but when you come to your end and face that truth, you're going to know that the messenger of Allah, the messenger of El, the messenger of Ahezaah, the Lord of the throne, was telling you the truth. And it's going to be too late for most of the people. But I bring to you a simple message. I bring to you a clear message. Those of you who ran about, if you still could walk, you ran about 30 years ago saying I was insane. I'm still speaking the same thing. I have gone through all your trials, all your rock throwing, all that what you've done to still be here. And for many of you to turn back and say, he is right. And you're hiding in your homes. You need to come out of your homes. And you need to start ringing the name of Ahezaah. And you need to stand up for the truth. And stop hiding, being afraid of men and jinn. Because Ahezaah is the one you need to fear most, because it is the master and the creator of the devil itself that you're afraid of. Those men and jinn who really don't have power except that which the Lord lend them. And in its lending them, it must manifest in it all the time for it to work for them. You need to come out and start speaking the truth. And stop fearing these fools that have been trying to keep you covered up. Trying to keep our women ignorant and dumb. Huh? And you sisters who they got running around here hiding your faces as though you walking through a dust storm. You need to bring those veils down because you're not in a dust storm. Those veils were created because of dust. In the desert, men over in Arabia wear those veils too. The brothers got y'all doing it because they're afraid somebody gonna see your pretty face and try to educate you. And try to take you from them. Huh? Tell the brothers, wear your pants leg up, because anybody whose pants legs touch the ground is going to the devil. Then they had the sisters' dresses just dragging the ground. I'm like, do anybody see that? The sisters just dragging the ground, picking up all kind of filth. Them long gowns. Do anybody see that? Where the brothers there? Why they ain't making a stink? Sister, at least bring it up to your ankle where it won't touch the ground. Don't worry about showing your ankle. Keep that filth off of you. They don't even use common sense in that. But they run around here talking about keeping them pants legs up off the ground. You know why they say that? Because the description of the one that would come, the chosen one, would be that his pants leg would be down. That's in the book of Revelation. My pants legs would be down. So the devil, the advocates of the devil tell him, don't wear your pants leg down. The devil wears his pants leg down. Huh? Try to turn everything around. And they see you wearing your pants leg down to your shoes and they say, stop for Allah. And they go wear their pants leg up to whatever. And they think that Allah is pleased with them and going to take them to paradise. Just like the foolishness about having so many sons, you automatically go into paradise. Or if you get killed over in Mecca during Hajj, you're automatically going to paradise. I thought people going to Hajj was going to try to make amends for themselves, and I thought they was going to try to get closer to Allah, trying to become more spiritual, trying to take away themselves from the evils of their own minds. How they all of a sudden, if they get chastised or cursed or trampled, that they all of a sudden is forgiven and going to paradise? Can you not see the devil in that? See, we get stuck as a people in fantasy. They learned a long time ago that all you got to do is give fantasy to the black man in America and you got him. I could get more people with me. All I got to do is start fantasizing. Stop telling the truth. And they come running. I've been told that by other people. Man, if you just calm it down and stop saying that and say this, man, do you know how many people you would have if you had a temple? But see, what they fail to realize is that I'm under the direct guidance, the direct command of Allah. It's no play, it's not unreal, it's no joke, it's nothing made up. I'm under the direct command of Allah. You know what direct means? Means that the angels isn't even in between me and Allah on this. And Allah said that it will be someone like that. There will be a time when there will be a man who will have a relationship with it where the angels wouldn't even be able to intercede. I'm one of those men. And I stand to say that those of you who really know, those of you who are really close to the vest on your religion, who truly believe and fear Allah, you know that if I was not telling the truth, that I would have been destroyed by now. I would have been at least shown up to be a fool in my conversation. I'm still waiting for somebody to come and shut me down with their words. I say, bring the holy books and show me where I'm wrong. I still say that. But I ain't had nobody bring me the holy books. I've had them bring K-37s or whatever, AK-37s or whatever the hell they've been bringing. Huh? Different kinds of pistols, different kinds of threats. I didn't invite them to shut me down like that. But they got to pay for that.
Praise Ahezaah.
Don't think that Allah is not going to pay you for sending people out or for coming out to try to do me harm against His words. One of the prophecies is that whatever you think about doing to me is going to happen to you and your descendants And just because it ain't happening fast, don't think it ain't true. Allah is ever true. Allah is the truth. Allah is the light of truth. Allah is the reality. That is it, point blank. I gotta go. My man pointed at me saying I got 1 minute. And even though he don't know it, I got one lifetime. It won't be all in this show. Man, peace and blessings be within about your presence. I'll see you next time.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you